So it's definitely worth exploring this place, because now I've got another person in the party. But I don't think there's going to be much else here to do. Because there's not a lot of places I haven't explored now. So it's just this kind of middle section. Actually, this area I thought might have something in it. Assuming I can get into it. Which it doesn't really seem like I can. That was fairly closed off. But if I go back down here... Can I get up here? Oh, I can. There we go. They'll get here eventually. Is there going to be something I can loot here? There is. Scroll of Protection. Ooh. That's quite nice. And there's wine dregs swirling around the bottom of the clay jar. That might mean there's someone nearby. There's the Rite of Ancient Legends, which gives a bonus to lore. That could be useful. But other than that, there's nothing else really here. So, where do I go next? So I can also go to the Searing Falls if I wanted to. But I think it's probably time to head to the bridge. Which will take me 4 hours. Because then we're only one stop away from the city, I think. Or at least the outskirts of the city. Am I going to be asked to pay a toll to get over the bridge? Is that a thing? Okay, reach out for the soul. Oh, that's a lot of reading. I kind of want to get on with the story now. Lavishly decorated room hung with tapestries. Overstuffed couches. So they're seated, 2 women seated at the table, they're both well dressed. There's a nervousness around them. And they're giggling. Are they on a date? The woman leans back in her chair, stretching lightly. She lays her hand on the other woman's hand. I think they're on a date. Okay. So, pulls her hand out front of the other and brings it to her mouth. And then she goes and touches her waist. Okay. And then there's Craddock Bridgman, who's on a ship. Right. Is that another person that's... So if I need an inn for the night, the Goose and Fox has the softest beds. Okay. Ooh, is that another godlike? There's a flurry of matted white hair and a freeze fire stuff before I see the man, cold and wild. Choose an apple and throws lots of spells. Flames vent from his nose, which is a little bit odd. And a bullet of force glides through the torso of an assailant. Wow. Right, let's continue on. So welcome to Defiance Bay. There we are. So I guess we can head to Copper Lane, which only takes 15 minutes. So I have no idea where I need to go in the city. I assume I just need to explore. Because there's a few things I need to find.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whiteman's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Well then, so the city's not doing well, apparently. I can hear lots of shouting.
City of Defiance, crown jewel of the Deerwood. If you ask the locals, anyway.
How do you do?
So this is Rowan. So I am new in town. So the town is filling up with refugees. So what are you all doing out here? Trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis. Instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, they're granting them liberties. What do they know about animancy? So it goes against the gods. Okay. It's all half-truths. So the Animats have got no idea what half of those artifacts actually do. What's the dozen? So they're an organisation that want to free Defiance Bay. Okay. So are they kind of terrorists? That's fair. They are like a militia except for everything. But tell me about Defiance Bay, because at least then you can be useful. So it's the capital of the Free Palatine of the Direwood. It started out as a capital of the Adrian colony. Okay. Tell me about each of the places. So Copper Lane is a market district, but there's the Expedition Hall directly north, where you can join treks into the boss, so I might be able to pick up some missions there. That's also where the Dozen meets up. And that's the Hall of the Revealed Mysteries. But they've got the biggest library in the Direwood, so that might be where I need to go for one of the missions for the people that I've got with me. So very eerie indeed. So it might be worth visiting, yes. What about Brackenbury? So the nobility that don't sail to Edir stayed there. Most of the families that trace their lineage back to old imperial times. So it's got a house full of spies and a sanitarium, which is very nice. And a lot of animancy, by the sounds of it. What about the first fires? So that's where the revolution started, hence the name. So it's overrun with politicians and panderers. But that's where we'll find the Ducal Palace, the Embassy, and the Crucible Keep. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles. There's an old... Ah! That was the queen that we need to go and find. Okay. So that's definitely worth visiting. Definitely to go to the first fires. So, they've got the name because it's a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. And that's a seedy district populated by sailors. So, if I look for a place called Salty Mast when I'm there, otherwise it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. And the last place is Heritage Hill. So, it used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claim plots up there, next to an ancient Egwythian tower, which could be worth visiting, and the cemetery, which I hopefully won't visit. It has the best views of Defiance Bay, attracts the richer types. Something happened over there a couple of months ago, and they've sealed it off. So that is definitely worth investigating. So, there's the Goose and Fox there, there's a marketplace, Expedition Hall, Pernisk's house, Lumdala's house, Scrivener's dormitory. Revealed Mysteries is definitely somewhere to go. Catacombs sounds like there's going to be a mission there. But I think I need to head over to the marketplace. Although it is night time, so I'm not sure if there's going to be anyone there. I would assume not. So it's, yeah, 9 o'clock in the evening.
Greetings.
Show me your wares. Right. So let's go through and sell all the things I don't need. I kind of want to keep the grimoires. And I want to keep any documents and pieces of text. Vegetables might help, because they are edible. But let's just throw all of this stuff in the pile. Oh, that was a book. I don't want to throw that. Oil. What does oil do? Increases constitution. Might be worth keeping. Let's throw that wolf hide. And the cape. Actually, I want to keep the lockpicks. And I'll keep the grappling hook. And then pretty much all of this is just unused. I'll keep that though, because that has some good damage. That's all fairly useful. That's all interesting. So there we go. That's 935 copper pieces. Which is pretty good. What do they have? So they have some scrolls. They have lots of just random ingredients. Well, there we go. Well, that solved that issue.